Hey, I'm Nate.
And I'm Skye. Welcome to Say It Real, the podcast that helps you speak real English with confidence.
We kick things off with good vibes and real talk.
So grab your headphones and let's get started.
Welcome to Say It Real Episode 4. Today we're talking about something super important for anyone on their English journey. Learning English in 2025, how to level up fast.
Ooh, this is a big one, Nate. Because, the way we learn English now, it has just totally transformed. Like, gone are the days where, grammar books and just weekly classes were enough.
Absolutely, Skye. We're living in this age where technology, social media, mobile learning, it just dominates the language learning landscape, doesn't it? It's everywhere.
It really is. And while that's amazing, it can also feel kind of overwhelming for a lot of learners. So many apps, so many videos, so much advice. You might be thinking, where do I even begin with all this?
Yeah, totally. And we see this a lot, especially with English learners in that B1, B2 range. They've often spent years studying, they've passed tests, read textbooks, maybe watched tons of Netflix.
Right, they've done all the right things.
Exactly. But then many of them still really struggle to have a confident, natural conversation in real life. They hesitate, they overthink grammar, they feel unsure when they're faced with fast-talking native speakers.
It's so true. And it's not because they're bad at English, it's just that traditional learning hasn't fully adapted to the way people actually use language today. It's a different game now.
And that's exactly what we're here to unpack in this episode. It's not just about more resources. It's about a full strategic guide.
A guide to truly upgrading your English, moving past that feeling of being stuck and really embracing fluency.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed or like you've hit a plateau or you just want to speak with more confidence, stick with us. We've got some real talk and actionable strategies coming up.
Yeah, and actually that reminds me of a friend of mine, Anna. She's amazing, super dedicated, and she had studied English for 7, 8 years in her home country.
Wow, that's a long time.
Right? And she was really good on paper. She could read complex articles. She'd pass all her grammar tests with flying colors. She even watched movies without subtitles sometimes. But
there's always a but, isn't there?
Exactly. The big but was when she came to an English-speaking country, she just froze. She'd go to order coffee and her mind would just go blank. Or, she'd try to join a conversation with native speakers and she'd just feel this immense pressure, this fear of making mistakes.
That feeling of knowing the words, but they just won't come out. It's so frustrating.
It really is. And she told me she felt like she was carrying this huge, heavy grammar textbook in her head, and it just weighed her down. She understood everything, but she couldn't actually speak it naturally, She was so good at input, but the output, the real spontaneous conversation, that's where she felt totally stuck.
And that's such a common experience. We hear that all the time from learners who are like, I've done everything, I'm still not confident.
Yeah, and it really highlights that traditional learning, while it gives you a strong foundation, often doesn't prepare you for the real, messy, fast-paced world of actual conversation. It's like you're ready for the exam, but not for real life. And that's what we want to fix today.
Exactly. It's not about ditching everything you've learned. It's about evolving, right? And that's where this new concept comes in, what we're calling the fluency triangle for 2025. It's essentially 3 pillars that really accelerate your English.
Ooh, the fluency triangle. I like that. What are the 3 sides of this triangle, Nate?
So the first one is blended learning. Now, this isn't a totally new term, but in 2025, it means something specific for language learning. It's about combining that solid traditional structure you get from, say, a good online course or even an in-person class with the incredible flexibility and power of technology.
So not just one or the other. It's not school versus app.
Precisely. It's the best of both worlds. So you might still follow a curriculum, right? Maybe you have a teacher, or you're working through a structured program. But then you're also using AI tools like ChatGPT to simulate conversations. You can literally chat with an AI bot about anything, practice expressing your ideas, or even ask it to explain a complex grammar point instantly. No more waiting for your next class.
Oh, that's huge. I mean, the ability to get real-time feedback or practice without feeling, judged, that's a game changer for so many people. It takes away some of that pressure.
Totally. And that leads us into the second pillar, mobile learning. This is about weaving English into the little pockets of your day. We're talking about those short-form apps like Duolingo, Cake, EWA, where you can literally do a 5-minute sprint. It's not about sitting down for a dedicated hour study session anymore.
So, like on your commute or waiting in line for coffee, just quick bursts?
Exactly. These apps are brilliant because they expose you to real-life dialogues, pronunciation tips, and trending vocabulary. It's all delivered in these bite-sized chunks. And what happens is that constant, low-pressure exposure, even if it's just 5 minutes here and there, it adds up so much faster than, say, cramming for an hour once a week. It's like a consistent drip rather than a single flood.
That makes so much sense. Because the brain, it just prefers that frequent small input over like a massive, overwhelming session. Okay, so we've got blended learning, mobile learning. What's the third side of this triangle?
The third side, Skye, and honestly, this is the real game changer in 2025, is social learning. Think about it. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, Tandem, HelloTalk, even Discord. These aren't just for entertainment anymore, they've become incredible language learning spaces.
Oh, you mean like people aren't just passively watching, they're actually doing stuff.
Exactly. Learners today aren't just consuming content, they're commenting, they're recording their own videos, they're creating content in English, and they're connecting with people from all over the world. We're talking about a Brazilian student practicing idioms on TikTok, or a Polish learner doing voice messages with a language partner from India. These aren't just theoretical concepts, they are daily realities now for millions of learners.
Wow. So it's about making English a part of your daily life, your social interactions, your creative output. It's not just in a textbook anymore. It's out there being lived.
Precisely. The best learners, the ones making the fastest progress, aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the most socially engaged. They're not afraid to just speak with imperfect grammar or leave a comment with a small mistake. They practice in public, and that feedback, even if it's just from a friend or another learner, that's what truly accelerates their growth. They're saying it real, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, that's such a key point, Nate. It's not about being the smartest, it's about being brave enough to actually use the language. And speaking of using the language, what about the actual words people are using in 2025? Because I've noticed, textbooks sometimes feel a bit static compared to how fast English changes online.
Oh, absolutely, Skye. That's a huge part of this. We're beyond textbooks now when it comes to vocabulary, really. I mean, words like delulu, which is short for delusional, right? Or rizz for charisma, or even climavore, meaning someone who eats based on climate impact, and unhinged, like wild or emotionally extreme. These words are everywhere online.
Right, I hear them all the time. They're definitely not in my old English dictionary.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They might not be textbook words, but they are absolutely part of real modern communication. If you want to connect with native speakers, if you want to understand internet culture and truly speak in a way that feels authentic and up to date, you kind of need to know them. It's not about being super formal all the time. It's about being relevant.
So it's about understanding the nuances, the informal side, the slang that's actually being used in daily life. Because if you only know formal English, you'll sound a bit stiff, I guess.
Yeah, precisely. You'll miss jokes, you'll misunderstand comments. It's like language is living. It evolves constantly. But learning vocabulary, even modern vocabulary, is really just one part of the puzzle. The real leap in fluency, the biggest breakthrough, happens when learners embrace something deeper.
And what's that? What's this psychological secret here?
Well, it goes back to what we just touched on. The learners who make the fastest progress aren't necessarily the ones with the highest IQs or the ones who spend 8 hours a day memorizing grammar rules. They're the most socially engaged learners.
So it's not just about what you know, but how you use it and who you use it with.
100%. They're not afraid to speak with imperfect grammar. They're not afraid to leave a comment with a small mistake. They practice in public, even if it's just, a quick voice note in a group chat or recording a video for themselves. And that feedback they receive, even if it's just a thumbs up or a quick correction from another learner, that's what accelerates their growth. It's that constant, low-stakes interaction. They're truly saying it real, mistakes and all.
That's so true, Nate. It's about being brave, being social, and just diving in. And, for listeners who are thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually do this? How do I integrate it into my life? We've put together a sort of weekly blueprint. This is for B1, B2 learners who really want to push themselves to C1 and beyond. It's not a rigid schedule, but it's a guide to, living the language.
A blueprint sounds perfect, Nate, because it can feel overwhelming with all these apps and platforms. Where do you even start? Exactly. So here's what we recommend. First up, 10 minutes a day on an app. Just one app, pick it, and be consistent. Whether it's Duolingo, Cake, EWA, whatever you like. Those short, daily sprints really add up faster than you think. It's that constant exposure.
10 minutes. That's totally doable, right? Like on your commute or while waiting for coffee.
Totally. Next, aim for 3 voice messages a week. This could be in a speaking group you join or with a language buddy. Just short messages, explaining your day, asking a question, reacting to something. It's low pressure, but it gets you speaking. It gets those muscles working.
Oh, that's smart because it's not a full conversation with the pressure of immediate replies, but you're still producing spoken English.
Exactly. And then we suggest 1 personal video a week. Now, this can be private, just for yourself. Just record yourself summarizing your day or your thoughts on something. It helps you see and hear your progress, and it builds confidence. You don't have to share it with anyone, but just the act of speaking to the camera, it's powerful.
I love that. It's like a speaking diary.
Yeah, kinda. Then watch 2 YouTube videos a week, content you actually enjoy. And here's the key. Comment in English. Don't just consume. Engage. Whether it's like a cooking channel or a gaming review or a motivational speaker. Find creators you connect with and then practice interacting.
Oh, commenting is huge. It forces you to produce, and you get that social interaction we talked about.
Right. And finally, 1 fun task a week. This is where you can be creative, like writing a caption in English on your Instagram story, or trying to describe your favorite movie scene using only English. It's about making English part of your actual life, not just a subject.
So it's not about perfection, is it? Because that's what always held me back when I was learning a new language. I just wanted to be perfect before I spoke.
No, not at all, Skye. This routine, this blueprint isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, it's about emotion, and it's about real connection. You will make mistakes. You will forget words. You'll feel awkward sometimes. And guess what? That is absolutely, completely part of the process.
It's like embrace the awkwardness.
Exactly, because with time, you'll notice the change. Your words will start coming faster. You'll actually understand jokes in English. You'll interrupt someone in English naturally. That's fluency. That's not perfect English. That's real English.